Hello, beautiful humans. What is this game we're playing? Have you figured out who you are yet and what you're doing here? Or school? I was just at the store buying air filters, asking myself what part of the game I got in where I had the misfortune of needing to keep up with air filters. And there's so many like pieces of this puzzle experience behind the veil. Living on the great theater of life stage. Sometimes we're buying air filters. Sometimes we are hanging out with incredible people, feeling so very, very, very alive. Sometimes we are lost in a world of digital, just mind-numbing junk. And one of the cool things about being empowered from a heart-centered place is we get a tremendous amount of choice in how we want to show up to this life. Granted, we are not privy to a lot of the big picture. I can just imagine sometimes how many of my senses are off, because I will get little hits of my multi-dimensional senses coming in, and then they're gone again. And it's like, oh, if all of that was online all of the time, I wouldn't even have to speak these words, and the energy of my heart and the love and all the like feelings that I'm having would just bounce right over to you and be completely understood. And there would not be confusions. There would not be misunderstandings. There would be a deep knowing. And we get little tiny bits of that even as we are right now, especially if we can tune in. You know, I've been studying for years what healthy relationship dynamics are, and a huge part of it is attunement. It's like playing songs together and hearing the notes of those around us and those we love, hearing those notes and then knowing how to create music with one another, because we all have these beautiful songs that we are, light and sound frequency that makes up the true of who we are than just the fact that I happen to be wearing a yellow hat today and a green jacket and it's cold where I am. The bigger, more expansive truths, the zoom out, the knowing of greater things about my long-term identity outside of even this tiny lifetime, this tiny little bit of being on the stage as Leslie Indigo Allison. And when we're singing our songs together from that deeper place, and we're attuning to one another, when we're knowing one another at that deeper place as well, something really magical happens. But that is a more masterful skill. That is a more masterful way to show up to one another. And so often, just where we're coming from, most of us were not attuned to in our developmental years. And so it's not really like woven into the body of who we are. So we're missing some of that information about how to attune to one another. Oftentimes, I don't even think we fucking know how to attune to ourselves. So often we're not even willing to feel feelings because we weren't taught how to feel feelings. And we don't know how to just even know ourselves at the different layers of who we are. You know, I do a check-in quite often with people that come in the door of the Divine Playhouse. How's your mind, body, and spirit? What do you need today on those different levels? And I try to remember to do it with myself sometimes too. And especially if I'm not feeling very well or just feel a little out of sync, you know, just to check in. And what if it was ordinary for us to check in with one another that way? It is becoming more ordinary. It's an extraordinary. And we can do that with our friends. We can do that with our loves. We can do that with our family. We can meet each other more fully. But it does require choosing to step away from patterns and habits of sort of numbing out or even just being discombobulated in our energy, because maybe that's even what we had as kids. You know, it requires more attentiveness to pay attention to ourselves, to pay attention to others, and to see how we are able to create harmony together. This is something I want for my inner circle, for the closest, most intimate people in my life, and also something I truly do envision for the people that live on this planet. I do believe we have it within us to learn how to meet each other in that heart frequency space. But it requires us showing up with responsibility to manage our own emotions, to learn how to regulate our own nervous system. And when, we get totally zapped with something, it triggers a pain body of the past, or we see someone in front of us get their pain body triggered, which triggers us, and then I call it the double trigger, or if you've got more people in the room, triple, quadruple triggers. It can get a little insane, honestly. And it requires a meditative practice that is really living life from that meditative space. Tuning in, taking a deep breath, getting in the moment, not reacting, not texting crazy shit, not saying things that we're going to regret later, breathing, coming back to ourselves, and paying attention to the fact that the person near us is also on this planet trying to figure it all out. And we're really capable of making beautiful music together. I believe that. But it requires a certain sense of presence with ourselves and with others that we have not been taught. And when we're inundated with digital information that is an inorganic thing, yes, it can connect it. Yes, it's cool. I'm a Libra. I love the balance. Let's do the whole spectrum, right? Let's experience it all. That's part of what we're here for. But let's create divine union on the planet of these things and find the best use and best practice for these things, especially technology, and not lose our roots, our feet on the ground, on this earth, connected to the earth, connected to organic, very living, breathing, feeling, intuitive, strong like the roots of the tree, strong like the trunks of the tree. If you know me well, you know I can fly high in the vibrational frequencies, upper level, blast off, feel amazing, joy and gratitude, infinite love. But what good is it if I can't ground it down onto this earth? I'm liable to just float away. And I believe that I'm here to ground it down on the planet and live it in really practical ways. And I believe we can do that together and create a new experience of being on this earth, integrating the whole, and just really creating a lot of love together. I truly, truly feel connected to you, especially if you're still here listening to the end of this video. And I am just blasting out big love, lots of love to you. Let's create something beautiful together on this planet. I'll see you here real soon.